Welcome back, gamers.
Welcome back.
It's time to play the video games.
It's time to fucking. This is the load that we've been charging for the last. This is the.
It's a
the
shame
load we've been the retention that we've had for the last several weeks.
It's a
months.
shame we didn't time this out though, because this is episode 99. Would have been a good 100th episode. Our first console launch.
The one of the ones we skipped up to here kept us from getting 100, but that's all right. 99 is a good fucking number. You know why? Because F-Zero 99 is on.
That's true.
What's your name?
My name is Benjamin Hall Effect to Benjamin.
And my name is Geron Switch to Ben. Geron. All right. Fuck that. God.
I don't know about all that. The Switch 2 is out.
Switch
it's
2
official.
is out. We've got it in our hands. We both have it. I picked mine up last night. You got yours at 7 a.m.
That's right.
Which is hilarious.
It was great. It was honestly perfect.
Yeah.
Right when I woke up, 2 hours before I started my work day, had time to go and set everything up. But since you got yours first, let's go ahead and start with you. What was your process? What was your day like?
My process. Okay. Pre-ordered it back in April when they opened. Great. Fine. Didn't have to worry about anything. Pre-orders stood the entire way. Got to the day and it said preparing for pickup. Hell yes. Everything was fine. Get to the Best Buy at I left at 11. Got to the Best Buy at 11:30 about. It was like 11:20. One person I work with and then someone I used to work with who got expelled from the business were there. They were waiting to pick up Switch 2 as well, but they hadn't pre-ordered.
Ooh.
So I stood in line with them knowing I can cut a little bit because I'm not taking one from somebody. I'm just getting mine.
Right.
So yeah, we had one line. They let a certain amount of people in the store. And
how many people were there by the time you got there?
By the time I got there, the line was going to the Red Robin.
I don't know what that means.
So it was at least
long
it
as
was probably
shit.
like 250 people.
That's pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were pre-ordered though.
So
did they split the lines?
So when they decided to split the line, I was actually like a step away from being in the door. So there's this gigantic line, and the dude says, "If you're here for pickup, make a line here." And I was the one dude right there, so I just like.
You're like, well.
And I look back, and everyone's just looking at me, and someone decides it'd be funny to say, "He's the only one that got one." I was like, "All right." But then people.
And then you walked over and just smacked him in the fucking face.
But people started lining up behind me, and then I went in. Process was simple. Go to the counter. I asked, "Oh, do you guys have accessories?" Before I got to the counter, like, "Oh yeah, we have them back there." Went up there. I was like, "Let me get another pair of Joy-Con and charging grip." They went and grabbed my Switch 2 that had my name on it because it's Best Buy. That's how they do the pre-orders. And I fucking left. But I looked around to see if there were enough for other people that were coming in. Guess what? There was. Both of the people that I met there didn't have pre-orders. They both got the console.
Hell yeah.
And I'm sure plenty of people did. There was a lot of stock to go around. So I believe the pre-orders kind of the pre-orders were given a certain
they were
limit
like more conservative.
it was a very conservative pre-order limit just to make sure
right.
that there was stock available, depending on the economic and world situation was so fucked up.
For how much money Nintendo made today,
this
launch was smooth as shit.
In general, when it comes to what Nintendo was doing, smooth as fuck. All the shit, like even honestly, the network stuff worked. Everything worked.
I can't remember a hardware video game launch that went this well in a long time.
Yeah, and like
I feel like the PS5 launch was pretty decent.
The thing about the PS5 and the Xbox Series at the time is that they came out in 2020 during the pandemic. So the main problem was that people.
Yeah, there was no stock because of supply chain issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and also it was just like it was. I don't think it was as hyped of a launch. I mean, I know there were stock issues.
Yeah.
So like that kind of like artificially generated buzz and hype around it, but like. PS5 still hasn't really sold like that crazy. The
PS5 isn't selling like ahead of PS4 necessarily, but it's not selling much worse than it either. But I mean,
it's trending well.
Yeah,
like competitive.
I think the thing about the PS5 is that the jump from 4 to 5 is not as obvious until you've used the thing for a while. the jump from Switch 1 to Switch 2 is clear as fucking day.
Yeah, it's like a genuine generational
huge
gap.
All you have to do is show someone like 2 videos. It's like, oh,
yeah.
I mean, okay.
Also, let's just talk about the fact that like you got Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong,
and Donkey Kong's on the way, yeah,
and like those are both exclusive to 2 only,
right?
Not to say that they're not going to be, Prime 4 is going to be on both.
Prime 4 is on both because of
Final Fantasy Tactics just announced.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that on a different day.
That's a different day, but yeah.
But still going to be supporting the Switch 1 through third parties and first parties.
This first party stuff that's coming through 2026,
which is cool, and that's good. That's what kept Sony, I think, going as well.
I think we're at the point
just that market install base.
Yeah, but like we're at the point where if you buy into one of these machines, you're buying into the ecosystem very, very in a very I'm going to use this word, but don't misinterpret it, secure way, where it's like if I keep going with it, the things I bought here are now coming with me.
Right.
Rather than like if you bought a PS2 and then you bought a PS3 some years later, it's like those PS2 games.
Oh yeah, you got to keep that PS2.
Yeah,
you can't trade that shit in.
Right. If you got a fat PS3, whatever. But if you got a PS3 down the line, you weren't playing those games on that without rebuying them.
Yeah.
And
like me, sad. I have a Slim.
Yeah, I mean I have a Slim too, and it's not a big deal to me. But because the Slim is way more reliable.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, also like they've been trying to bring all the PS2 games, make them accessible on PS5 through either cloud or native or whatever.
Speak of cloud, like Final Fantasy, no, the cloud saves that they finally, had going on the original Switch.
Yeah.
Meant that all I had to do was log in to my
system
account.
Transfer was so easy.
Did you do a system? I didn't even do a system transfer.
I did a system transfer just because, like, I wanted to put my Switch away.
Oh, you want the?
I'm like, I don't need to use it anymore. Yeah, I might give it to her, like to Kerr or to Pierce, like Game Share, Clubhouse, like that kind of thing. So like that's why I'm gonna keep it. Like I'm not gonna instantly.
You're not just gonna nuke it. Get rid of it.
Yeah. It's also the Animal Crossing one, which is like there's a lot of.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking device, even just to like display. But like I was just like, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for the Switch 2. It's my thing. It's my only thing. I don't need another device.
The situation with that I have with the multiple Switch 1s,
right,
and then the Switch 2. I intend to keep using Switch 1, but
like for some games
that don't really, and
just bring it with you.
Like if I want to take my Switch Lite out to keep my Switch 2 safe, basically.
Yeah.
The save data from Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition is compatible.
Oh, so if it clouds up,
it will cloud up and go back down. It's like they said, you can't use the second save slot on the original Switch version.
Makes sense.
But it's like the primary. The upgrade on Switch 2 is DLC.
Yeah,
it's the game and then DLC on top of it. And so the Switch 2, so after I used the Switch 2 and set everything up, got everything up to the highest quality that I could get it, 4K.
Yeah,
made sure everything.
Did you have an issue, the same issue I had?
Which one?
Where I plugged the dock in and the screen didn't pick anything up until I went into the settings. It seems like the dock instantly tells LG at least, hey, this is a 4K signal. Deep color HDR, but it wasn't ready for it yet.
Yeah, I didn't have
it did ultimately do it once the setup was done.
Right.
But like the setup is like, oh, do you want to connect this to a TV? Now is the time to do it.
Yeah.
So then I did it, and then the screen didn't show up. And I could see a lot of people getting frustrated with that. I've fucked around with this TV so much at this point that I knew instantly where to go. And so I fixed it, but just call out for everybody that might be going through the process.
Because when I turned the Switch on, I looked at the screen. I put the screen protector on first. I put that on. It was perfect.
Mine doesn't come till tomorrow.
Yeah, with the little tray. I've never used the tray before. I used it. I was like, this is perfect.
What tray? What tray?
A lot of screen protectors nowadays will come with an alignment tray, and you set it on the device. And the Switch 2 being a rectangle with the Joy-Con off of it, fits right into it. And the screen protector is just in there, so you just peel a couple things.
Did you get the official carry case screen protector?
No,
combo?
I use the Walmart brand one, dude.
Oh, that's funny.
The Walmart glass one. I was like, this went on perfectly. It's imperceptible now.
There you go.
Great. What was it? What the fuck was I gonna say?
I
was on it. I
the
was
tray.
going
You dropped it in.
I dropped it in, but before that. Oh yeah. I put that on and I made sure the screen looked good. I was like, okay, the screen's good. The blacks aren't pitch black because it's not a fucking OLED. Fine. Right. So I put it in the dock, and you could do the rest of the setup on the dock. Whereas on the original Switch, they make you do it out of the dock for a while and like, to take Joy-Con off.
And that's what I did. Is I definitely did it handheld first. Yeah, because like I felt like that's what it wanted me to do. That's what it
was going to ask you to do. But I think this device is designed in a more balanced way,
in a more flexible way.
Whereas Switch 1 was definitely weighted to making sure the handheld experience was
optimized,
was good.
Yeah.
And the TV experience was good enough.
Right.
This is like the handheld experience is still good.
Yeah.
And the TV experience now is
as
something
good.
that you can present to people and be like, this looks great, doesn't it? It's not, the compromises that we had on Switch 1 are not quite so present, are there? I obviously haven't played like a big game like Cyberpunk on it yet to see. But so I put it in, and when I did that, my TV has a thing where you have to set it to enhanced, like
is that for
HDR?
To
enhanced for HDR and HDR.
Yeah, pretty much every TV has something like that.
Yeah, and I had them set to auto, and the TV didn't switch it until I did it manually.
Yeah,
but that was it, and I did it after the fact because it was on the input that my original Switch was on, and I took out the cable. But so yeah, once I did that, everything was fine, and then you can. Switching between modes, like if a game does that, is pretty quick, pretty painless. I was like, okay, it's not like fucking with anything. It just go black for a second if it needs to do that.
Right.
Yeah, no, the setup experience with Switch 2 is great. There's like little music when you're setting it up.
The music was very calming.
I'm just like any fucking Nintendo nerds that complain like, oh, there's no style to it. It's the same thing. It's not.
It's definitely
it's very similar. It's not the same.
It's much more elegant.
It's elegant. It's clearly nicer.
Yeah.
Everything about it is much, much nicer.
It really does.
Everything.
I hate to say this because I know how much you like the Switch. It makes the Switch look like a cheap piece of
It
plastic.
does. It fucking does. That's the next thing I was going to say was as soon as I used it and used it on my TV, using the handheld for a second, all that, I was like, oh, fuck.
It's like a premium device.
Like all my original Switch shit just felt like it got brittle instantly.
Yeah.
I still have a pair of original Joy-Con.
There was a video I saw on Twitter on X, the Everything app.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a guy doing like one of the more like professional opening videos where he had like the gloves on, the very sterile environment.
Yeah.
And just like he put a compilation together of him just sort of like very slowly like touching and analyzing everything. Yeah. And just like you can just tell how like durable and solid the craftsmanship is.
Yeah.
Of just like every piece of the dock, every piece of the Joy-Cons, how they fit together. Yeah. He would like snap in and out the things.
Dude,
just like
the magnets are so good.
Everything works really well.
Like the magnets are the magnets on the Joy-Con specifically are such a big improvement that you don't realize until you use it one time. It's like there's nothing to break here.
Well, not even just break, but like with the Switch, even like the later iterations of the Switch, you would get those like black streaks.
Yeah.
Of the plastic
like, from rubbing
going up and down.
On the paint from the and like the paint from the little arrows the little down arrows on the Joy-Con would start wearing off.
Right.
Like you're not gonna get that here. You're gonna get something else. I don't know what.
Something's gonna happen. Yeah.
But it's not
gonna
do
so much testing.
Yeah.
No, but going back to the launch.
But wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Quick. It's very obvious with this machine that their goal was make Switch something people can't complain about anymore. Like
address all the problems.
Yeah, I still want to talk about build quality for just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I grabbed an extra set of Joy-Con, just being like, these are going to be better. I took a bet on that. And the sticks are smoother.
The sticks are way smoother.
The buttons feel great.
The sticks are taller.
The sticks are tall. The whole Joy-Con is bigger.
The Joy-Con feels so good in an adult man's hands.
That's exactly right. It feels so much less like a little disposable toy that costs $80, and more like
I keep it like unfortunately does make me retroactively a little angry that Joy-Cons were $80.
Yeah, dog. Like I know I paid $95 for these, but like these, this is gonna sound like I said, this is gonna sound like a fucking shill episode. that $95 for those Joy-Con feels like I got $95 worth. Even though
it feels like 2 full controllers, much more so than the Joy-Con did.
They do, and with the mouse features and everything just works on them.
Yeah,
they feel like they're meant to last. They don't feel like they're meant to break down as you use them. They're comfortable.
I mean, compared to the $80 Joy-Cons, you're definitely getting more of your money's worth with these $95 Joy-Cons.
Far more.
Now
value
comparing Joy-Cons to the original Joy-Cons doesn't really mean much. At the end of the day, but it cannot be overstated how big the improvement is.
Yeah,
the D-pad. I don't know if you touched the D-pad much on the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I mean, they're buttons.
They're buttons, but they're nicer. They're velvety almost.
Right.
They're smoother. They're softer. They're bigger.
Yeah, they're big. The bigger is
just fast action games, like Tetris, platformers. You would use the buttons. Like a lot of people would use the buttons, and they would be kind of a preferable because they're the most precise option.
You're only getting that direction. Yeah.
Right, and I still like the original Joy-Con D-pads. I think they were probably the better of the buttons of the functionality of the device, but these seem just so much more enjoyable to use for long periods of time. They're not going to hurt your hand. They're not sharp at all.
Right. You're not doing fucking crazy claws to try to hold the thing in a way that isn't going to cramp you up.
Yeah. The manufacturing precision, it feels really high.
Feels really good. I downloaded the Street Fighter 6 demo last night.
Oh, nice.
Just to try it, which I was like, oh, I thought it was going to only be Fighters Edition. It's Street Fighter 6. You can get Street Fighter 6 without the DLC, just raw Street Fighter 6 for $40.
Oh, nice.
I was like, oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. There's $40 games on there. There's Bravely Default's $40 bucks. Pretty good.
And you're getting full Street Fighter 6 with extra Switch 2 shit for $40 bucks. Using the D-pad, using the buttons, and then seeing the game. My TV was reporting that the game was running at 120 frames, which I think is because that game uses that mode to reduce input latency. So the game's run the visuals are 60 FPS, but the game it's running every frame
at 120.
So I'm getting the polling at 120. I was like, oh, this feels really good.
Mine also had 120 hertz checked. But it was also this is only really going to be in effect if you're running it at 1080p.
Yeah, it flips to the resolution goes down. In fact,
but it was nice just plugging it into my LG and just seeing every setting checked, and I was like, that's what's up.
Yes, fucking Nintendo shit is that anyone complaining about it's not innovative enough or whatever. I think you're missing the point of this. Clearly, is everything people complained about with Switch as it aged is now not present.
Right.
It's everything has mostly modern features. VRR isn't available on a.
Well, but you're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
You're forgetting the dual screen.
Fuck off, dude. Dual screen bullshit. No, it's kind of there with the game share if you count that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Excuse me. I'm sure some developer.
But going back again, similar to the build quality.
Yeah.
At launch here, Switch 1 had all those fucking compilation videos. I don't think there were pervasive major issues.
They weren't really pervasive.
But just there was a loud minority that would have issues.
Yeah.
It would circulate, right? It would catch fire, go viral, be like Switch launch is fucking failure. People got nervous.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a fucking peep. Other than the GameStop stapling the goddamn consoles.
Screens.
Which has to be I feel so bad for everyone involved. I feel bad for the GameStop employees. I feel bad for the people that got the consoles. Because apparently,
they were doing that because it was too hot for the stickers to say attached.
Yeah,
so because the AC was broken,
and there's no reason that they should have assumed that the box is so tightly packed that a simple staple would touch the screen.
Yeah. So, the presentation of the box is that the first thing you see is the console looking at you, and then the Joy-Con.
Yeah, angle
on the side. The box is so small.
It is really small.
I was pretty surprised. I was like, "This is." I'm just palming this. This is small.
That was one thing that is really something that you have to see in person to get it.
Yeah,
is the size.
Yeah,
I feel like the way I don't know what it is, but like the way that images get captured and displayed make it look monstrously big.
Yeah, are you talking about the box or the system?
Just the system.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's just a Goliath compared to the original Switch, and I mean it kind of is.
Compared to it, it is kind. It is.
But then when you have it in your hands and you're touching it, it feels like the right size.
Yeah, it's balanced in a way that it doesn't feel heavy.
No, it's not heavy at all. When I was holding it,
I was like, this does not feel anywhere near
light.
As I thought it I thought it would feel like densely packed, but it feels like just enough to do whatever it's doing. I'm just like, I'm very impressed with it in that regard.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is that they like to counteract some of the thermal situation with it. The dock has a fan.
Yeah,
you know, so which means you should be ready to dust that out every like for yourself.
Yeah, get the air cleaner.
Get that fucking air duster. So okay, you were talking about you want to go back to launch. And we kind of got back to that.
Yeah. So what else did you play? The first things you booted up?
What was the first thing? The first game I actually played was F-Zero GX.
Of course it was.
I loaded it up.
I loaded it up too.
Yeah, that was me checking the controller situation. That was me checking the widescreen situation, the resolution of the
widescreen looks really good.
Everything looks real good.
It looks really good.
Yeah, like
because we had looked at it recently, like on my TV
upstairs on the GameCube,
using the upscaler.
Yeah,
and that looked pretty good.
That looked as good as you could get it from real hardware at that point.
This looks genuinely better.
Yeah, like this is the colors being as fucking rich and shit.
Yeah.
You get the benefits of the modern TV.
Yeah.
And the connection to it.
Right.
Obviously, the games are in SDR. You just gotta.
It's just the tone mapping.
Yeah, you can set the console to remain in HDR even if you're playing SDR content. That might not be a good idea depending on your machine because the lights and darks.
So mileage may vary situation.
Yeah. But regardless,
did you do the HDR brightness tuning?
I did. Yeah.
So
which I'm impressed is there. I'm glad it's there.
I'm definitely glad it's there. Everything with HDR needs to have it because you just don't know what the nits are going to be on the screen. But when I did it, it was interesting because like it was so similar, like the level of detail that like it was like, oh, this one needs to be invisible. This needs to be invisible.
Yeah.
Like the other one was nearly invisible.
Yeah.
Like it was very subtle. Like it's definitely down to like the tens of nits.
Yeah. It's whatever they're doing here. I know Nvidia is not, doesn't have the best reputation right now. Whatever they're all doing, somebody figured out it's like we need people that understand
technology.
So and they simplified the HDR settings as much as they needed to make sure anybody could adjust them and had were they to go into it. And I hope the average user does check that stuff so they can get the most out of the
I mean the handheld screen is in HDR. There's no reason to not look at it.
Exactly.
Right?
Like you gotta set all that up, and the screen has the handheld has VRR, which I haven't experienced yet because I haven't needed to. But
it's gonna be a while before I have to take it out of the dock.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Like mine is behind my TV too, so it's a little awkward. I wish the cartridge slot was on the other side, so I could just because it's on the side that's not exposed. But what was it? Played
F-Zero GX.
Played F-Zero GX. I loaded up a little Soul Calibur as well. I didn't load up Wind Waker because I was just trying to get to the next thing.
Yeah, I knew F-Zero was going to look good because they were already starting to post videos of like, look at the graphical difference between Wind Waker on Switch Online compared to the original. Like, there's already some graphical enhancement going on.
Yeah, like you're not playing the games at 4K, but you are playing them at
they're enhanced.
It's probably 1080p with a little bit of like upscaling going on.
Right.
So it looks great. I'm very happy with it. All the other apps
you can play multiplayer online now.
You can play multiplayer online.
F-Zero GX. Just wait till Smash Melee comes.
Yeah, you don't make this GameCube controller and then not release Smash Bros on it. Like that's insane. What I have really enjoyed with just using the system, even the older apps, like I loaded up Beyond Good and Evil just to see it, and the load times are fucking.
That is definitely something I noticed.
That game has like annoyingly large loading bars.
Right.
That they don't take that long on Switch, but they take long enough
to notice.
Here, that shit just you see it for a second, it's gone.
In general, and this has been a big topic of like the socials, people posting, is just that the benefits that all other games, other than the ones that are explicitly getting patches, are benefiting from. And I guess it's like part of my fear, and probably most people's fear, is that like when people had to make games for the Switch, they had to like intentionally compile the games for the hardware explicitly, right? Locking frame rates, locking, load times, resolutions, voltages, all that stuff. It does not appear that that was the case, because a lot of games are just like boosting their frame rates, boosting their load times, boosting their resolution. Like it's just happening.
What was it? Digital Foundry posted a video with Batman Arkham Knight, the Switch version.
That's really funny.
And The Witcher 3. And
The Witcher 3 I was curious about.
Yeah, The Witcher 3 runs like lock 30 now.
But still like the muddy ass resolution. Specs,
but the resolution, because it was dynamic resolution scaling, is better.
That's funny.
I've seen Batman Arkham Knight, which runs quote unquote on Switch, now runs at lock 30 on Switch 2. It's like they didn't have to do anything. Granted, that's a relatively late port that came out at the end of 2023. So maybe they had a whiff of what they were getting into.
Oh, I see. They could plan for certain things to just unlock.
It's planned for certain things to be like, all right, just like let the Switch try to handle this as much as it can. When the next thing comes out, we don't have to do any work.
Yeah.
There's another thing I saw that like apparently had looked like it got an improvement just by the nature of the way it functioned, but I can't remember what it was. I might have to look.
Yeah, pull it up. Some of the ones that I saw were Bayonetta 3 running at lock 60 now.
Both
Bayonetta Hyrule Warriors, completely smooth.
I,
of course, the second game I booted up, the first game I booted up was Pokemon Unite.
Oh, yeah. You wanted to check those menus.
I wanted to check it out. The menus are definitely better. I mean, for anybody that never played the game, like probably some of the laggiest, slowest, chunkiest menus you've ever seen in a video game, period.
Yeah.
Like you try to move the menu like left, up, down, right, and it's just like it's like, oh my God, it's like talking, it's like telling somebody to make the input and then maybe they'll put the right input in.
It's like giving it a suggestion.
You hit the button and then you wait for the thing to spin and like pop up. And like there's a little bit of it there, but like just everything is definitely like at least like 50% snappier, faster. There's still a little bit of chunk. I think they just need to like launch a Switch 2 edition of that game.
Yeah. I'm sure that's coming for like.
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
It's time for them to get the Chinese client that has the nice evolved lobby and all that stuff, the Splatoon style lobby.
I'm excited to see Marvel Rivals on Switch 2. Who knows if it comes out? I'm going through a forum and people are like going through what they've tested.
What forum is it?
It's a Reset Era. But they've had like Xenoblade 2 apparently docked is stable 30 FPS, max out its dynamic resolution. Xenoblade 3 does the same thing. Xenoblade X does the same thing.
I believe that still needs a Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, it still needs I still needs a patch, if not an edition.
Yeah.
Xenoblade X gets that, and I believe the load times are just much faster now.
I mean, Xenoblade games never really had an issue with load times.
They never had an issue with them, but it's like that initial load.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the game booting up.
Yeah, exactly.
Smash Ultimate.
Someone was saying Bakaru, the Goemon-like game, like ran at 4K 60 because they just kind of dropped it with.
That's really just uncapped,
just completely uncapped. I was like, yo, what the fuck? So I want to download the demo of that and try that on my console and be like, oh fuck, this like instantly got fixed by being on Switch 2.
I'm happy for all the devs that get like a second life just breathed in by the nature of a hardware upgrade.
Like the games that are already out just on the shop waiting for people to buy them. Like, I wish there was a better version, a more performant version, and it's already been there. You just needed to have the hardware for it.
Have you tried, I know you tried Mario Kart World. Have you tried Mario Kart 8?
I have not tried Mario Kart 8. I have not put, I haven't put a lot on my Switch 2 because I'm looking at the storage.
The 256.
I'm looking at that's more, but
I know
I need to be a little sparing about this.
My SD card doesn't come till Sunday, but it's fine. 256 is still plenty to like play.
It's still plenty
to
like,
plenty.
I'm putting new stuff on it. I'm emphasizing new stuff. Like the first thing that installed was Welcome Tour because I'd pre-ordered that, and it was taunting me on my Wii. Yeah, whatever. You want to talk about it real quick? I know you got to try it. I like Welcome Tour because I like it. It's don't pay.
I'm not going to pay for it.
If you don't want to pay $10, do not do it. Just don't do it.
I'm still holding out that like I don't think they're going to make it free. I think the launch of the Switch 2 being as popular as it is, it's just they literally have no incentive to do that.
Yeah.
I am hopeful that they'll do something like platinum coin exchange.
Yeah.
Something like that.
My assumption is they'll probably show up on the online expansion pack like in a year.
Yeah.
Or if maybe even like 6 months.
Because I'd like to touch it, but like it's such a hard pill to swallow when you see fucking Astrobot's Playroom.
Yeah, that like Astro's Playroom is a unique situation where it's a fun game and it lets you experiment with the functions, like the new functions of the PS5 controller and all that. In a game context.
Pack-in.
Yeah, in a pack-in free game.
Like it's a miracle game.
Yeah.
That I don't like. There's no way for me to support it other than talking about it as much as I can. Mm-hmm. And I just wish it were the reality for other things. And Welcome Tour is like so close to being that.
Yeah. Like Welcome Tour Welcome Tour is less. It's not really a game. There's games in it.
Like mini games, yeah.
But it really is like buying a ticket to a museum that you experience on your TV, like an interactive museum. You like the way it's presented is pretty dry in a lot of ways, and that's deliberate. I think that with this console, it seems to be more emphasizing adult players. Not like, oh, this isn't for kids anymore, but it's more like
it's the people that care about the nitty gritty bullshit.
This kind of thing are probably adults, and those adults are the ones that will share this with children if they want to know.
Yeah,
and like you see all the screenshot I posted, a lot of the examples they give of how things work will utilize
comparisons to old
like Nintendo.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand what you were posting about the mouse controls.
Yeah, because we were talking about mouse stuff, but that was it was saying, oh, the mouse sensor really is just a black and white camera that takes 1,000 photos per second.
That's pretty funny.
But the photos are lower resolution than even the Game Boy camera. That was the example. I was like, that's really funny.
That's weird. Isn't that kind of a weird way to implement a mouse?
That's a weird way to do it, but their rationale, just plain as day on the screen with illustrations, is that they wanted you to be able to use it on your lap.
Okay, that's kind of what I was assuming.
It's as soon as they said that, I was like, oh. I started using it. I was like, oh,
this works really well.
Yeah, this is fine because it's I like denim pattern.
Yeah,
I went to sleep. I took a shower. I changed. I wore this to go pick it up, and then I set everything up. Played for too long, and just I woke up.
You pulled a Nelson.
Yeah. What was it? But yeah, so Welcome Tour has a lot of stuff like that. It's the interactive things like the little bit where you have to determine if it's low frame rate or 120 FPS. That's a lot of fun.
That's pretty funny.
Because once you see it, like 60 and 120 are actually a little bit harder to to separate.
Yeah.
And then, but once you know, like when you've got the right or wrong answer, then you start to
dial it in
more. Like you feel it visually more.
It's almost kind of interesting that they would emphasize training people to identify that. That almost feels counterintuitive to their philosophy.
But I think in doing so, they create a situation where they can now tell you like the benefit of this running at 40 frames per second. Because they show you a 40 frames per second example too.
Oh, that's good because 40 is great.
40 is
nobody ever realizes that like because number isn't double.
Yeah.
Like the way your brain and screens work, 40 is closer to 60 than 30.
Yeah, like they give you a way to feel how that maths out.
Oh, that's really cool.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that that's why
Cyberpunk was probably a big impetus for that.
Probably. Like Welcome Tour, like that kind of stuff is why I wish it were free, because the people that are buying it
that's what I'm saying,
are not the people that probably already understand that kind of thing.
It really should have been free.
And
I'm glad that after playing it, you agree.
Yeah, like I know it should have been free. What was it? There's the little mouse games.
The wheelchair game?
No, not the fucking wheelchair game.
What's it called again? Drive X Drive or something?
Dragon Drive.
Yeah.
But I'm still on Welcome Tour. I'm trying to think of the other little games that are on there. There's one where you have to use the mouse to find the spot that vibrates the most.
Oh, that's funny.
It'll test how close you were to getting the spot.
That's actually pretty interesting you mentioned that, because something that I think people don't appreciate about mouse mode that you're now making me realize is like the combination of mouse mode and the other functionality of a Joy-Con.
Like
it's not just a mouse. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a mouse with a gyroscope and a rumble motor.
And the rumble, the haptics. Yeah. And haptics with a mouse is that sounds pretty powerful, actually.
Like, consider like what I was just doing. You can have a situation where there's a game where you're like twisting knobs or some shit.
It's pretty funny because like the fact that this really is almost like an evolution on a mouse more than anything is almost feels like something that Valve should have come up with
done first.
And like could have with like a Steam Deck variant.
And I'm sure there was probably a little bit of cross thought with Nintendo saying like Steam Deck existing, and then the way the PC market operates. Yeah, the accuracy you get with like that, and how can we bring the accuracy of PC and make it more like of an interactable.
Now here's a question about mouse mode. With a lot of FPS games, there's a lot of like the gating based on the platform that you're on. Like some of them do cross-platform, but like console games will always have auto aim assist. Because it's harder to aim on a controller. Now that we've got a controller that has mouse mode,
and you can just flip to it.
What does it mean? What does it mean for the competitiveness?
My thought is that Switch 2 will become a more viable platform to play on for the sake of
like Fortnite and shit.
Yeah, Fortnite especially, because you have like, instead of like, say you're a player who's intimidated by the functions of a keyboard, but you do understand the benefit of a mouse. You have the controller, you aim with your mouse, you pick it up, do whatever you got to do, set it back down.
You know what else I'm really fucking excited for now that you're saying this? Is, and I hope this is a thing, I don't know if this is a thing, but one of the big issues I've always had with PC gaming in general, especially FPS games, is that you had a mouse for aiming, right? And then you had WASD for movement.
Yeah, and then you had to have modifier keys for speed.
Change that shit to a fucking left-hand Joy-Con. Yeah. Using a stick for movement, using buttons for all auxiliary mechanisms, but you got mouse mode in your right hand. That sounds fucking nice.
It's like Wii pointer controls,
it's but next level.
You're using a mouse. Yeah.
But mixed with PC gaming.
Yeah.
If that's viable, that's tight as shit.
Yeah, and I don't see why it wouldn't be.
I'm kind of pissed
do it on console.
That I kind of want to spend $70 and buy Cyberpunk again.
Yeah, you were saying
because I want to like try that. You know what I mean? Like they added a bunch of cool shit to Cyberpunk Switch 2 edition.
There's that, and they even added the motion melee and stuff like that.
Yeah, the motion melee. And they added the touchscreen cyber hacking.
Yeah,
like
I don't think people really do understand the value of the immediate switch from mouse mode to
the seamless.
What's it called? You can do things with that
you can do shit and then immediately go down.
Yeah.
And that's like Cyberpunk again, especially like Cyberpunk felt like this game. I remember playing it on the controller where I was like, oh, I wish like for this specific thing I could just aim, play FPS, and then just like go back to controller
without having to like completely drop your device to go to the other one.
Yeah. So like that game I think really benefits from showcasing all the Switch 2 functionality. It's a pretty smart launch title. Like the more that I keep thinking about these options, it's pretty good.
Curious if
wonder what kind of haptics it might have.
Which one?
Wonder what kind of haptics Cyberpunk.
Oh
might
have. I mean, so we may as well talk about that now because that's mentioned in that's like touched on in
Welcome
Tour 2. But like the haptics they're not. I don't think they're PS5 quality. I do think they're much better than
the first Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought the first Joy-Con haptics were quite good.
They're good, but they're weak.
They're weak, but like they did some really creative shit with them, like where they could make like noise, like songs with the vibration.
Right. That's true. And
like they did some funny shit, especially with Mario Party.
Yeah, Kirby Star Allies does the song thing too.
Oh yeah.
I do know though that they built these to be quieter. But in being quieter, they're also like you can get the heavier feeling, and there's a little maraca thing with the beads and then the big rubber ball. You can feel the difference when you're doing that. Like I was like, oh okay, the rubber ball really feels like there's a heavy rubber ball bouncing around in these mirages.
Now that you mention it, I think there were a couple of the Mario Party minigames specifically where it was like, oh, which one has the most marbles in it?
Yeah,
and it got like a little nuance to the point where it's like kind of hard to tell the difference.
Yeah,
I wonder how like things like that might be affected.
And I want like, let's say you play 1-2 Switch, like the original 1-2 Switch that had the marble rolling.
Okay,
thing.
got it.
Like, I want to know what that would feel like now with the Joy-Con 2.
Yeah.
Compared to the original Joy-Con, because it's still sending the same signal to the Joy-Con 2.
Right. But how the Joy-Con 2
interprets how the differences in the haptics affect how that's able to be interpreted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this everything with the controllers and everything tactile with the system is just so nice now.
Yeah.
And one of the benefits of it being 120 frames per second in some games, in some cases and whatnot, is that because you're touching everything and the way they have you interacting with it, it feels like 1-to-1 every time, like smoothly 1-to-1. You know,
dog, can you imagine how horny Prime 1 Remaster would be, being able to do left hand regular Joy-Con, right hand mouse mode?
Yeah, I want that to get a patch today so that I can experience what Prime 4 is going to feel like when it comes out. Because
like a preview.
Like there's no reason for Prime Remastered not to.
I mean, especially because they like clearly used it as like their test ground for Prime 4.
Like, give me HDR, give me mouse control, give me 120 FPS.
Oh my god, that game with HDR, some of the shit like Phendrana
Drifts, even just the dark bits and Chozo ruins. Yeah, it's just like phase-on mines too. Actually,
that's what I meant, phase-on mines. Yeah,
but like the phase-on. Even an SDR on a TV that can give you the brightness, it looks great.
It does look great.
But I want
like the really dark scenes where there's like no light and there's the space pirates, like that shit would pop in really impressive ways.
Like
I need that fucking yesterday.
Everything like
Prime 2 would be probably way better with it too.
Prime 2 would be in like a remaster of Prime 2 would be crazy with HDR, like HDR specifically. And I've always said HDR is more of a game changer than 4K.
Yeah,
4K is nice, but after a certain distance, you miss it. Like, did you notice that the menu on Switch 2 is 1080p?
I did notice.
Okay, I noticed
because I walked up to the screen. I was like,
check.
I was like, hang on.
And then
I got into a Switch 2 edition game. I was like, all right, there it is.
Yeah, it's the same way as it was on Switch, where it matches the screen resolution of the handheld,
which is whatever. Honestly, good. Like, they know that they understand the point of the operating system is to be fast. Get me into the game. I don't care if it's 1080p. Just make it snappy.
Right. And like, I know people are like, we all the lame ass YouTubers who are just starting college and realize that they're growing up and things are going away. They're like, we missed the like animated. Like, no, you don't. You really don't. You don't miss that.
I think those are gonna come though. Because like the way they frame the new updated eShop, where it's like basic dark theme now available, is like the phrasing of that is like
it's kind of strange when it comes to
like, if those were the only two themes, why would they why would that exist? You know?
I mean, it's nice to have a dark theme on the eShop and the Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah, thank God.
Too, because like that shit would blind you.
I hated it.
In the middle of the night. You happen to open one of them. It's just get flashbanged instantly.
Bright white fucking screen.
Yeah. The speaking of the eShop and the Nintendo app and everything, they do fun shit now. Like, they'll play music when you're looking at the icons for
do they?
Different yeah. Like when you're looking at the Mario Kart World, the thing where it's like, oh, the icons are available. It starts playing the theme from it.
I like that.
Splatoon does the same thing. If there's a video, it'll autoplay. It'll start, so it's just more lively, and it's all fucking faster. Not to mention you can control.
Yeah. There's a lot of games that got Switch ports like almost obligatorily that were clearly just PC indie games that they just wanted to put on Switch for the install base. What was the one? There was one like, it was like a 90s hacker simulator with like a lot of windows, but you had to use the stick as if it was a mouse. There were so many of those stick as mouse fucking games that now hopefully
you have two mice to work with now.
I wonder if you can just do it though. Like, if old games, you can just have the mouse be the joystick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just set it like so it controlled maybe. I mean,
I'm curious to try that now.
Yeah. The one of the things I'm curious about are Switch games that had mouse control in the first place. I have Doom,
Oh, that you can plug in a USB mouse?
You can plug in a USB mouse and control it that way.
Right.
And what was it? Turok on Switch. Turok
the remaster
happens to have
the remaster or the N64 version?
The remaster.
Oh, okay.
The remaster happens to have mouse control. I don't have that remaster. Huh? Not 2.
That's weird.
Because I think it's a holdover from when they updated it for the 2025 update. You
forgot what you were doing. Hang on.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's a holdover from the 2025 update that they pushed to every platform. They just happened to get mouse and keyboard control. I wonder if the mouse control works on there, because the Turok games, those Turok remasters are do the wonderful thing where they, on PC I mean, where if you're using mouse and keyboard, you can pick up a controller and it's seamless. So you can use controller and mouse at the same time.
I've noticed that with Steam Deck.
Yeah, like that's perfect for Steam Deck, because that's how you would set up gyro.
It's always really obvious with Steam Deck because the touchpad on Steam Deck acts as a mouse.
It's a mouse. Yeah,
it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
in fact, it's the exact same kind of
It's the exact same kind of thing.
With your thumb instead of
and now that I'm saying that, I almost wonder if like people had already been kind of planning for this because of the way DualSense works on PC.
Probably,
just like that idea of like, well, we should just make it accessible for both.
Yeah.
So it's probably somewhat seamless for them to be like, oh yeah, Joy-Con's just a fucking mouse.
Fucking mouse. Yeah.
Treat it like mouse input.
Which is not to speak of the competition in this regard, but when I'm thinking of like PlayStation and Nintendo's, like Switch 2 and the way PC controls and all that, it feels like Xbox is really like primitive when it comes to the way their controls work. No gyro still. If you buy one of their controllers, you're buying something that uses double.
So crazy, dude.
No gyro, you're using double A's, which
every year that goes by, no gyro is fucking crazy.
Yeah. But for a console that's like that kind of got built off a first-person shooter, you would think they want to be at the front of having all the control options available as possible. And
sad.
You just don't,
Sad.
But yeah, nah. So Switch 2. What other things can I think of?
Monolith Soft came out and was like, yeah we touched it. We helped.
Have you tried the game?
I haven't done it yet.
Dude,
is it worth the price tag?
Chill moment incoming. Chill moment. It's like buying a Mario Kart game and a 3D Super Mario game.
Oh, so the motherfuckers were right about all that shit?
It, like, in the music.
The music is, like, I'm not even kidding, one of the things I'm most excited for.
I'm going to admit, because I was very sleepy, and it was like new console excitement kind of shit too. A couple of times a track would play while I was in the game, and it would be mixed in such a fun, energetic way. I was like, I'd fucking tear up like a fucking dipshit. Like, holy shit, they acknowledged that game, they acknowledged that track, they did it in the most fun way they could.
I fucking love it.
Like, oh god, I'm not going to spoil anything, but
it's so good.
Doing Grand Prix mode, and then you race onto a bit of an old track, and the music from it plays, and then you leave and you go completely somewhere else.
That's crazy.
It's so fucking good.
That sound design is crazy if they did that.
The music plays. I already told you I rolled credits on the Grand Prix mode already.
How is it? Just 16 tracks?
It's 8 cups, 4 cups each. Or
32 tracks?
Races,
you blasted through 32 tracks already?
Yeah.
How the fuck?
On 150cc immediately.
That's crazy.
I was like, I'm gonna learn this game. Fuck you. Like it's, and then the free roam is it seems kind of basic when you start doing it, because you just access it. It's from the title menu. You hit the plus button and you're in free roam from whatever character
that's like a Mario Maker.
Yeah. And you can switch there's characters around the map. You can switch which character you are, like GTA 5, and go to where they are.
Oh, that's funny.
And explore the area that they're in. And like the way the music functions there too is kind of just like in the background, but then you start hearing shit from it's like, is free
roam multiplayer?
You can roam in multiplayer.
In like local co-op?
It's like the lobby.
So, okay, got it. But does it like split screen, like with 4 people?
Oh, I don't know if you can do it locally. I didn't think about that. But maybe. But when you do it, when you start it, it's literally from the menu. You just kind of go to whatever character is on the screen, like in the little demo. And you just play from there. Oh man, the character variety. I don't know how the stats if the characters have different stats yet.
The characters do have different stats.
Okay, couldn't really.
I can tell you that with confidence that it's like the character and the vehicle are the two stats that you put together.
I've enjoyed playing as random enemies and shit. I've enjoyed
I do like the roster.
The wider tracks to account. Oh, I thought it was a dog. The wider tracks accommodate 24 racers. You think, oh, this is gonna feel slow. It doesn't. It actually gives you a lot of opportunities to either like sit and charge, so you can do the little jump and get the boost from it, and like trick onto rails and things like that. And then sometimes there's enemies just around, but like you know how there's womps in Mario Kart 8 that just fall and then you can go up the side and jump off of them in one of the tracks.
Oh, in DK.
It's not the DK one. It's one of the Sydney. I think it's Sydney.
I don't remember.
Okay, well either way. The womps in this one, they're ugly as fuck. I don't know why they look so weird. But two, a lot of things have new designs. But they when they fall, you can see a very clear ramp.
Yeah.
And sometimes like, oh, they're falling away that there's a ramp and then there's a wall, and you do the jump and you do the wall ride and you roll off and try to land on a rail. Just like, am I playing Sonic Adventure 2? What the fuck? Most of the annoying power-ups are gone.
That's good.
And
do they have new power-ups?
They have new power, like the ice flower and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But nothing in the you know how in Mario Kart 8 sometimes it felt like when you got hit, you were getting beaten the fuck up.
Yeah, it was over.
You had a full stop.
It was completely over.
There's sometimes you get full stops in this game, but they are way more interested in keeping things moving because of how many players are on the thing. And
I mean, there were Mario Kart games that did that. I feel like 64 weirdly did that.
64
you'd spin, but you'd keep going.
64 would you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, 64 was not.
What am I thinking of? Where you'd spin but like keep going? There's at least one other Mario Kart that's like
maybe
that.
Maybe Wii.
Yeah, maybe Wii.
But I in this game, like, so say there's a car coming to you on the road that you're on. You're on the you're driving in the oncoming traffic. If you make a direct hit on it, you'll flip. If you tap the side, you might actually ricochet off of it and go even faster. And I was like, funny. Yo, what the fuck? I'm not like flipping out because I tapped this thing. I just boom.
That's really
funny.
And
every vehicle feels like it weighs something. So the drifting is way different than Mario Kart 8. It feels like you swing out harder. It feels like you start
it's more intense.
You start to like tilt up and shit like that if you do it too hard. You're probably not going to be snaking in this game, but there's so many other things that you can do to pick up speed.
I feel like all the stuff with like the wall riding and the flips and like they almost like took a cue from what people liked about snaking.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's infuse a little bit of a skill cap here.
And what I think is that they looked at the way people play Mario Kart Wii, where they kind of like go off the track and do a bunch of other shit. You can do like that there. It's completely emphasized here because you can see where the tracks will break off unless you're playing a track that's very clearly walled. But even then, those walls, sometimes you can just jump on it.
Right.
But the game is a lot of fucking fun. I'm really excited for you to play it.
I'm excited to play it.
There's one track where the music started playing, and I was like, yo, no, I literally said they did not do that. There's no fucking way they did this. I want the entire soundtrack to myself.
On Nintendo Music.
Fuck that. I want that shit on a disc, on a vinyl disc on my wall.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But I want all of the music. I haven't heard all of it, but I've heard all of the music that shows up in the Grand Prix. And god damn. And sometimes you'll get 3 songs per like race.
Oh shit.
It's like fucking wild shit. I really want you to try. I kind of want to see you try it.
Okay.
But maybe we'll have to do it through game chat.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the woman is preventing me.
Like if you can get the bundle with Mario Kart World, please get it. If you've played a Mario game even once, you will love it.
It's so hard to beat a Nintendo launch that comes with a Mario Kart game.
Yeah, like
that is always the kingpin of home titles.
Yeah, like this game. Once you start to dig into it, it's like, oh, there's something for people want to play online. There's stuff for local. There's stuff for like the single player content is there. Like just driving around doing missions and finding the different foods so you can get the costumes and whatnot. It's good shit. It's really excited. Good shit. Yeah,
we got Donkey Kong in 1 month.
Yeah, Donkey Kong in a month and a week.
We got Metroid Prime in like 2 months.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I think this console is gonna be is the good shit. It's like the Super Nintendo to the the NES.
To the NES, yeah.
Just a better version of something that was on that machine.
Right.
And I still haven't popped in some of the games that got patches, like Mario Odyssey. Apparently looks amazing.
It's funny. I've been waiting to replay Mario Odyssey. Haven't played it since launch.
Yeah.
Been waiting to replay Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Haven't touched that since that came out. That one was noticeably painful to get through because with the stutters.
Because the way the VSync worked, it's either it's 60 or it's 30.
Yes.
And so you'll get like 30 when you walk out into the world, and then it go to 60.
Like it was so noticeable. And I've been wanting to replay it because I love that game, and it's short. You just blast through it.
Yeah.
And I want it to just
that was my first
I want it to look fucking perfect, and now it's here.
It's
when I fucking got my Steam Deck, the first thing I did was I downloaded a fucking Link's Awakening ROM because I pirated that shit. And I was just like, maybe it'll do it. Maybe it'll do it for me. It didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Like you can't really beat the source. Like, and this time they clearly were looking at the way the world was going around with like the way Word was going with the original Switch, and wanted to catch all that entirely, including the EULA where they can pick your shit if you modify it. But I like that scared me all the way down to the point.
Well, I think people are like, some people have been saying recently that's just like being misinterpreted.
It probably is it's always misinterpreted. It's fucking gamers. But I was like, that kind of gave me enough pause to be like, I should reset, because my original Joy-Con, I had the colors mapped for the color of the skins that were on them, and I just reset them because I kept the data from the original.
Oh, okay,
on there and re-updated them. But I'm really, really, really happy with Switch 2 so far. I think it's a good
launch.
It's nothing but improvements over the original Switch. Nothing about it makes me say, oh, this thing that they're doing here is worse than what I had it as on the original Switch. People might argue.
You said you did game chat, right?
I did. I did game chat.
Tell me about that a little bit.
Let me tell you about that shit real quick. So, there's a mic test in the system menu, and I tried it. It'll record a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Does it? Does the Pro controller have a mic in it?
No. Okay. But it has a headphone jack.
Okay, that's what it was. All right.
But
I was like stupidly be like, are you working? Do you have a mic? I can't remember.
No, the mic is on the Switch.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought.
Imagine that U-Beat machine over there.
Yeah.
That's too far. Okay. Imagine this is my couch, and the closer U-Beat machine is where my Switch is.
Yeah.
Because I'm just across the room when I'm setting up everything, getting the angles, whatever. I'm talking to Jeff, and he can hear me. He can understand me.
Is it gonna work behind my TV the way that it is?
Behind my TV.
Oh, so mine's gonna work too?
Yours is gonna work fine.
Oh shit!
This is.
Microsoft Teams, pay attention.
Yeah. This is the screen. Like my face is the screen. So this is the TV. My Switch is like this, and the mic is here, behind the TV.
Damn, that's pretty crazy.
And we like after we kind of got it over the initial like, what are we doing? We were just having a conversation normally. There was no.
Like you didn't have to yell at it.
I didn't have to yell at it. He didn't say that he couldn't understand me or anything. And he was using a camera, but you can use any camera,
right?
Well, almost any camera. And he was just using a Logitech webcam.
Was he using a handheld or docked?
He was holding. He held it, but
that's really
he
funny.
set it down. But the benefit of that was that he could he would take the camera and just show me his Switch.
That's really in the footage on the thing.
And I was like, that's really funny. While he was playing, and I could watch him play Metroid Zero Mission while I was still messing with Welcome
higher
Tour.
Frame rate.
And
higher frame rate. The game chat is.
Fucking
how does Game Share work again? Does it send the whole game?
So Game Share doesn't send anything, but it's streaming.
So the people that are joining Game Share are joining they're streaming it, like almost like cloud streaming for
You can do the streaming online with two Switch 2s. You can't do like stream
Switch
to a Switch 1 online.
Okay,
that won't work.
But it works locally.
But that works locally, right?
Does it work with Switch 2 games?
It entirely depends on the game. I don't have any games that
does Mario Kart have?
Mario Kart does not, as far as I know.
Okay,
I didn't see.
I need to go look at what, because that's the one thing that I was curious about. Is like if it is streaming, and I have a Switch 1 and a Switch 2, like is my current situation, can I stream my Switch 2 game to the Switch 1
and you have
sitting next to her? Yeah.
I don't like I said, I don't think Mario Kart World has Game Share. If it does, I haven't seen it in my poking around, but I only got to poke around for I was.
I mean,
up
you
too
have to
late, but it's
go
still
into
4
the
hours.
game share menu, don't you? Or is it
No, you
within the
don't.
game?
The game itself will have the game
I
share,
see.
and then the game share menu on the home menu is how you join.
I have Clubhouse. Yeah, I know that one has it.
So yeah, and that one does it online.
Right.
So you can set it up, and then
so now we can play.
When you go searching for an online session,
I can force Jay to play. What's this?
What, Mahjong?
Yeah, Mahjong.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to play Mahjong.
I've never. Every time I've touched it, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But yeah, it's there. And then the other Switch 1 games that got game share, like Mario Odyssey. If you really want to play as Cappy, or at least
Mario Odyssey got game share.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
But some of the and you can switch who's playing who.
That's really funny on the game share.
Yeah, my
that's a good one to test then between Switch 2 and Switch 1, even though it's not a Switch 2 only game.
Yeah, I can't remember which other games got it, but the idea of game share goes back to the Game Boy Advance like single pack multiplayer
or download
play on the DS.
But download play, they would actually download
play. You would download
a frame
fractioned off version of the game, whereas this. You should be. It's the whole game. You're just streaming it, via Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi chip specifically, and that's great. If it works well, that's great. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the first article that just got fed to me. I don't know what this website is. WCCFtech.com.
Oh, I've heard that name.
It's their launch day review. Nintendo Switch 2 comes with a below average display and disappointing HDR support.
They're talking about the handheld.
Oh.
Because the screen is it's a very conservative screen when it comes to like brightness and HDR and black levels.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's like it does the HDR stuff and all that. It's just it's probably conservative.
It's not OLED.
It's not OLED, and it's I could only assume it's cheaper to do it this way, and they kind of want you to.
They want people to get it.
They want you to experience that on a TV because you won't be running the battery down with the brightness,
that's
fluctuations and whatnot. So I personally don't mind too much. I do wish that was like
we need battery tech. We need an evolution of battery tech so badly.
Yeah,
that is probably one of the downsides of the Switch 2. That's like actually worse than the Switch 1 is the battery life.
Battery life, yeah. Granted,
it's just what comes with it. Comes with the package.
Anytime I've ever used one of these modern portable consoles, I never have more than like an hour total to actually enjoy the thing while I'm out. So
I am going to be on a road trip somewhat soon though. So I'm like, do I need a thick ass battery pack? What's going on?
But the Switch 2 doesn't do that weird shit that the original Switch did. So you should be able to do use normal.
Oh yeah, it's just like the voltage.
Yeah, and you can use the charger that it came with to charge other shit if you really want to.
That's good.
And I like that. That's a C2C cable.
Yeah,
there that has the benefit of if one of the parts breaks, I can just replace that part.
Right.
And if it's just the USB-C cable, I'll just get that.
Yeah.
I don't have to get a whole new charger. Granted, I do wish the original charger worked for the dock, but of course that'd be too easy.
I'm looking at featured games compatible with Game Share: Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, Mario 3D World, Big Brain Academy, 51 Worldwide Games, Captain Toad.
Captain Toad does the own screen thing. Like both players have their own screen.
Okay, that's nice. And Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. Okay.
That seems to be it. Is that true?
That must be it for now. Yeah.
So it really is kind of just Switch 1 games.
Switch 1 games,
which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, I could imagine some Switch 2 games getting that patched in.
Yeah,
I could imagine like Street Fighter 6 game.
They're saying Split Fiction actually too.
Oh, that sounds right. Yeah, sounds right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
But also that's a Switch 2 only game, so that would be an interesting one to do Switch 2 to Switch 1 and see if it works.
Yeah.
Split Fiction game share.
Like that would be the purpose of allowing you to do it on Switch 1 even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you let your kid or you let a family member or friend, whatever, have the old console and you share with them.
It works with no. They didn't confirm that. Hang on. It sounds like it should work. I'm not seeing any hard confirmation of it yet, but it seems like it should work.
Yeah.
Which would that would be huge. It would honestly keep the Switch 1 around even longer than like after the point that they stop making games for it.
Right. Like
which is like very cool.
It's an additional player controller.
Yeah, it becomes almost like the PS Portal.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's just another screen controller.
If they create a situation where you can kind of stream Switch 2 to the Switch, the original Switch, it might create a situation where people don't have to buy it, don't feel as compelled to buy multiple, and they just keep their old Switch Lite and use it where they can to stream their new Switch 2 games too.
It's kind of tight.
Just the potential for it, tight.
I wonder if that also opens the world for like Nintendo Land shit.
Yeah,
where like the Switch 2 is sort of like the primary, and like the Wii U tablet, and then it game shares out the other 4 modes. You know what I mean? Like Mario Run, like the runner is the Switch 2, and it game shares out
some
shit like that. That'd be cool. Or the Game Boy Advanced link cable shit with
that is something. What you just described, the Game Boy Advance link cable thing.
Yeah.
I hope when Four Swords Adventures comes out on GameCube, it inevitably on the GameCube app,
there's
that
like
they
some
work
option.
it out that you can do that. Because if they can, then it might not be a situation that comes up very often, but it'd be great to have that option to do that.
It's like if you have a docked Switch 2, you can game share it to a Switch 1 or a Switch Lite and like use it as a controller almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
I believe you can have 4 people.
It's kind of convoluted, but it'd be very cool if they could do that.
Yeah. Like everyone can get their Switch,
Right.
And they demonstrated Four Swords, the GBA version.
Oh yeah, that's
using the online shit during the Treehouse stuff. And I was oh, that's like perfect fucking use case for this.
Yeah.
So
time will tell.
Yeah. I Switch 2, like I'm having a lot of fun just discovering the things that it can do and how much improved it is over something that
another thing I need to mention.
What is that?
Because you don't have a Pro controller.
I don't have the new one yet.
The 2 things that I found interesting, I guess 3 things. 1, the sticks are different and much nicer, much smoother.
That's what I want to feel. I've heard the sticks are
nice as shit.
Yeah.
The D-pad, way better.
Okay.
Way less accidental inputs. If you're pressing down and going left and right instead.
Yeah.
It can still happen in a moment of like reflex.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's just like, because F-Zero 99 is like the game that I usually kind of test that with.
Right.
Because if I'm like,
if you're trying to fly
and I'm holding down,
veer off, that happens to me sometimes.
It still happens like once in a blue moon if I'm like kind of panicking a little bit, but it's way like you can feel it is noticeably less of a situation,
right?
Which is great, and I love that because it still feels pretty similar, like the tactileness of it.
Yeah.
You can feel that it's a little sturdier, I guess, like the membrane is sturdier or something.
I'm gonna give it a feel when we
when we go inside.
Back in there.
And then the GLGR buttons.
I have those on my the charging grip has those. So
it does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
tight.
I've got those. Yeah, that's why I was cool with buying.
I need to feel how those feel if it's exactly the same because I was kind of surprised that on the Pro controller they're pretty small. They're pretty like low profile.
Yeah. They're pretty like flat against the. That's how they are shallow. That's how they are on.
It's like completely flat against the casing of the controller. Whereas like on the Steam Deck, they're like fully pronounced buttons.
Right. They're fully pronounced buttons that you have to kind of like think about to avoid sometimes.
Right.
I do.
This almost it feels like it's almost a little bit of the opposite problem where it's like
you have to kind of find.
I'm holding it and I'm like, if I want to press it on a reaction, I have to think about it first.
Which is why I appreciate that they have per game mapping.
Yes.
And like in Mario Kart World, I've mapped it to the X button so I can look behind me, which I didn't typically
things where you like it's hard with your thumb
to move your thumb. I don't have to move my thumb
like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, mapping it to jump would be really nice.
Yes.
Or
mapping
sprint,
it to jump one. And in Tears of the Kingdom, mapping it
sprint actually might be better because sprint you want to like maybe attack, maybe jump, maybe
sprint you can jump with, or opposite you can jump with the thing,
or just do both sprint and jump on your two triggers.
But,
good shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can even in the menu they acknowledge that people are coming from different platforms too. You can swap the function of the A and B.
I saw that.
I was like,
wasn't that on Switch 1 though?
Nope.
Oh, that's really funny.
You'd have to change the control mapping outright.
So when it does that, does it still? I guess like obviously it doesn't change anything. So it says the A button.
It doesn't change the glyph.
It doesn't change the glyph.
It doesn't change the glyph. It just the function of it changes.
But if it says A button, it'll now be the bottom face.
If it says A button, it'll be the bottom one.
Okay.
Because it's your confirmed.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's them giving up the ghost, dude.
That's them
being like, we get it.
Y'all make the rules now.
Like Xbox and now Steam and now everybody fucking else. And I guess PlayStation when you consider accept is the bottom button.
Yeah. They flip from their Japanese Nintendo layout to the US one, like worldwide.
Yeah.
So and I think
like, damn, we lost.
And I think that's fine that they don't change the glyphs either, because now that when you see A, like a person's like, oh, A down, you know?
Yeah.
So they just press that button and boom.
It is a little awkward though if like you're playing with somebody that doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, press A. And then they're like, this is B.
Yeah.
Why'd you tell me that?
And that's, I appreciate that's just the responsibility of the user.
Right. They're just like, if you want to go down this route,
you got to
take it upon yourself.
The N64 app got the controller mapping too. Which is nice because have you tried it yet?
No.
It's not like this button, like this button maps to this button. Is it per game? It's per game.
Oh, that's good.
It's per game, and
that's good.
They worked really hard on it because instead of just being like A button to B button, or R button to ZL button or some shit. It's literally button to function. They show you what the button does in the default control scheme. Like GoldenEye says, it assumes you're using control layout 1.1.
That means they've defined the function in every game.
They've gone through every game and been like, what the fuck do these do?
That's pretty impressive.
This is what you want to do. And
because that almost acts as a manual at that point too.
Exactly. And it creates a situation where if you don't actually know what the button is supposed to do on the N64 controller, you at least know what you're trying to do. So you'd be like, I want to do this. I don't know what button does it.
Yeah.
But now this, ZR does it because that's the open button on every
control scheme. It'll be great with the GameCube controller because like
you could.
There's a lot of N64 games that were ported to GameCube, so it's like some people might be more familiar with that layout.
Honestly, you can play Ocarina of Time
exactly.
With this without remapping anything, because by default these are the left and down in the
which is how it was in the
Master Quest
and what was the other one?
The
4 games.
That's a lie because
black and white.
The only thing is you'd have to map Z to L.
Oh yeah.
But that's it. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good generation, even if it doesn't sell as much as the original Switch. I think the people that are using Switch 2 are going to have a very good fucking
right.
So yeah, I'm excited to play more video games.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it.
All right. You like this shit? Give us a like, comment, subscribe. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube. We're at memoryleakpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we're going to switch to the other room and fucking game.
Fucking game a little bit. Ah!
Peace.